And earlier, I spoke with Rabbi Ephraim Mervis, Chief Rabbi of the United Hebrew Congregations of the Commonwealth, about his participation in the coronation and his personal relationship with King Charles III. Chief Rabbi Ephraim Mervis, thank you for joining us on i24 News.
Hi, lovely to speak to you, Kailash.
Now, of course, it's been reported how you were accommodated by the royal family in order to attend the coronation on a Saturday, the Jewish Sabbath, Shabbat. Tell us, though, from your perspective, how you experienced that historic day.
It was a very special day. I think historic is not an exaggeration. First time there's been a coronation here in the UK for more than 70 years. And this time, for the very first time, representatives of other faiths had a role to play in the coronation ceremony. It was my enormous privilege that I was able to represent the British Jewish community and also Commonwealth Jewish communities. And as you have mentioned, the King and Queen very graciously welcomed my wife and myself to Clarence House, to St. James's Palace, in order that we should be able to stay there over Shabbat so that I would be in walking distance of the Abbey.
Right, so you would not violate the Shabbat, but I believe even you commented on the, I guess, incongruity of a rabbi, an Orthodox rabbi, spending Shabbat going to a church, what is basically a church, attending a ritual that is to some degree a Christian religious ritual. So from the Jewish perspective, how do you relate to that?
So we have a halachic concept called mishum eva, and that means that when a monarch invites one to attend an event, one should positively attend and do the right thing, which was my privilege to do on this occasion. And even though it was Shabbat, our Beit Din and I considered it to be absolutely the right thing in halacha that I should be present. I was there representing our community and was very pleased to do so.
Right, and I know also Jewish congregations in the UK, perhaps the Commonwealth, also said a special prayer. Maybe talk about the relationship of the Jewish community in the UK. You spoke specifically about King Charles, but about the British monarchy in general.
Well, as is the case with many Jewish communities around the world, we recite a prayer for our royal family every Shabbat and Yom Tov. We toast the king at all Jewish functions. And for the sake of Coronation Shabbat, I composed some new prayers which were recited in all of our synagogues. And for many years, the Jewish community has had a very positive and constructive relationship with the royal family. It was my privilege to get to know the late Queen, who was a remarkable person, and I was in attendance in Westminster Abbey for her funeral. And since I was elected Chief Rabbi, I've got to know King Charles very well. He paid us an exceptional honor through breaking off his holiday in September 2013 in order to come back to London for a day so that he would be present for my installation service in St. John's Wood Synagogue, the very first time on which a member of the royal family has attended synagogue for such a purpose.
He has discussed trying to make the UK in a way more accommodating, more inclusive of other faiths. Have you discussed that with him and about ways that could be done, including with the Jewish community?
This is very much central to his entire agenda. He wants to be the champion of all peoples, of all faiths, and that is why faith representatives were included in the coronation ceremony, and we have seen it on numerous occasions. He particularly has reached out to Holocaust survivors. Only last year, he commissioned 6 portraits to be painted, which now hang in Buckingham Palace, of some of our foremost survivors. And he very much identifies with our suffering during the Holocaust and beyond. I accompanied him twice to Israel when he was Prince Charles, first of all to the funeral of Shimon Peres, and secondly, in January 2020, which was the 75th anniversary of the end of the war. He came to Jerusalem and he paid homage to the suffering of the Jewish people on that occasion. And there are numerous other occasions on which he has reached out to us, as he does to members of all faiths.
This spectacle was a good reminder, perhaps a reminder of the role the royal family plays, not just in the UK or the Commonwealth, but to the world. But there are questions raised about why, in this day and age, a modern democracy should have a monarch. How do you respond to that, both as a UK citizen, in your role as Chief Rabbi, and as a member of the Jewish community there? Do you see from that a need for a monarch in this day and age?
Well, I think that there's the theory and there's the practice. I think in terms of theory, one can argue it endlessly, but at a practical level, we see how indeed it works. The royal family today, of course, they do have internal challenges, but nonetheless, they are good leaders of our nation, and the vast majority of the British people are proud to have a monarchy, and we just saw it over the last weekend.
I think most people would have to envy your getting that front row seat to history there in Westminster Abbey for the coronation. Rabbi Ephraim Mervis, the Chief Rabbi of the Hebrew Congregations of the Commonwealth, thank you for joining us.